Hi everybody, I'm Crazy Yeti, and this is Terra Firma Punk. The nights in this post-apocalyptic, almost steampunk world do kind of drag on a bit, you know, with the zombies keeping you up all night. And I did mention that I was going to be looking for bronze and building a forge this episode, and I do still plan to do that. But first, I want to find a submarine. Like that one. And why, you may ask, do I want a submarine? It's because they generally have beds on them. Like this one. And this one. Because who couldn't use a spare? I was kind of hoping I might find a boiler in here too. That would have been a surprise, although a pleasant one. And this could be handy if I had brought a pickaxe, but I didn't. But there are plenty of other submarines in the sea. And I have got what I came here for. For my next trick, I'm going to dig up some sphalerite right over there. As soon as I figure out what I did with my prospector's pick. There we are. Okay. So here's a problem I wasn't expecting to have. I found all this surface sphalerite and dug straight down from here after building a nice little mining shed. But on the way down, I found this, rich magnetite, which is plenty of iron, which will be great once I'm ready to smelt iron. The bad news is my prospecting pick is picking that up. And I try wandering away from there, and I pick up a sample of tetrahedrite over here, more magnetite over here, bismuthinite over here. I've got so many minerals in this area that I can't find the one I'm looking for. So yeah, there's a problem that I never anticipated. You could even say it's an embarrassment of riches. If only I could find it all. Okay, so good news. All I had to do was to dig deeper to get a better reading on the sphalerite. And even better news, I've got very large readings from right over here to way over there. That's 28 meters wide. That's a really wide area. This deposit must be pretty huge. And I started digging my cross tunnel when I stumbled upon this sphalerite here. So, my only problem now is I'm out of supports, but I can stagger these now that they've been placed, because with the range of 4 meters, as long as they're 8 meters apart, the area is covered. So, I'll just rub a few supports in the in-between areas here. So I can continue my mining. I think I've dug enough to keep me happy for a while. Bismuthinite is not going to be a problem. So I think what I want to do now is focus on getting that forge together. And now for some bismuth. There's actually some bismuth right around the home base, but this bismuth is actually on the surface where I can dig it right out of the rock, so I don't even have to dig down and find it. Plenty of it right here on the surface. And back again with the bismuth. Okay, there's our forge building. And my plan is to steal all of it, although I don't have a whole lot of pick to work with. I may have to go back and make another one. But I still want to steal every stone from this building. Well, I guess that's all the stone I need. I did actually start off with what I needed for the forge first. And the rest of it's all bonus. So, I'm ready to take all my rocks and go home. I think I've got enough. And now I have set up molds for a new pick and a new pro pick since mine was getting worn out. And I have put some alloy for bronze in a pot and even made an extra big pot. And once that's done, or actually while I'm waiting for that to be done, I can work on a new addition for the house. And forge. Or it will be once I light it. But before I do that, I should make charcoal. And this will make a dandy anvil once I make a hammer to go on it. And for charcoal, I'm going to need a ton of wood. Actually, I could make charcoal with just a few stacks, but the more the merrier. Which means I'm going to be going through a lot of stone axe heads. Because I don't feel like making bronze ones yet. So I've been out this for a little over 10 days in game time. And I'm a little more than halfway done. So yeah, I have been going through quite a lot of chopping and quite a lot of axe heads. Remember when there were trees here? I have been cutting down quite a lot of them and getting saplings pretty much wherever I can. So I've got a nice field planted. However, it's going to take some more. Good news. The tree farm is finally starting to come up in a fairly big way. Of course, I still have to break these up for saplings, but still, there is no bad news here. And every once in a while, Lycanite's mobs will throw me an ent, which is a little tree light guy that wants to avenge the death of its fellow leaves. But even that doesn't bother me too much, because every once in a while when I kill them, they give me a fruit tree sapling, like this plum tree. I've already managed to gather about 5 of those, which are now planted on a hill with my other plum trees. So yeah, everything's going pretty good. And I have enough saplings to replace the ones I'm about to chop down. And finally, 50 stacks of wood. Now all that remains is to bury it and set it off. And it doesn't have to be hard stone that you do this with. You can just use sand or dirt or whatever. But I like that the stone won't fall in when some of the charcoal sinks, as it will do while it's burning. But I will put the sand here so I can get at stuff more easily. And from there, we just toss in a torch. Wait for it to catch fire and cover it. And the particles let us know that it's turning into charcoal. So now all I'll have to do is stand around 18 hours waiting for that to cure. And charcoal. Hopefully. I don't like the way that one piece of sand fell. But yes, we do have charcoal. So I'm going to spend a little while digging this out of here, and then we'll see how much we have available to use as fuel. You know, one of the coolest things about Terra Firma Craft is that you can put your resources down in the world instead of just putting them down in crates. like these ingots and this charcoal. I just think it's really cool being able to look at how much stuff you have in the world. Even if it does take up space. And that's quite a bit of charcoal. I'm going to have to expand this house. For now, though, I can at least take some of this out and put it in chests or some other form of storage. Okay, so now that I have that, I also need an anvil. And for my first anvil, I can use a stone, but not one that's already been chiseled like this one. A plain piece of granite will do just fine. And next, I guess I'm ready to heat this up. Like so. And from there, I just throw in some charcoal to keep it going. And then I'm ready to throw some ingots in to heat up. I should also make sure that I have some molds in here just in case I do overheat these ingots. And once this heats up, we'll be ready to weld a couple of them together. I almost forgot, I'm also going to need flux for welding, but that's easy to come up with. A lot of rocks you can pound them right out of, like chalk or limestone. And they're heated up to the point where I can weld them. I like to wait until it gets right about the danger point, just before it starts melting, right there. And that way I have the greatest amount of time before it cools down. And flux goes there, hammer, and weld. And of course you do have to do it fairly quickly before it cools down. And double ingots. I'm going to need 5 more. And hey, first snow of the game. The game date is December 5th. And never mind snow, we're going to have rain instead. At any rate, I have got my 5 double ingots, but I need 2 more. And for that, I'm going to melt some more tetrahedrite and make the ingots directly from there, as soon as I grab some more wood. And liquid copper. From which we shall pour out 2 ingots. And since we have some fresh rain, I'm going to see if I can let it in just long enough to solidify. Can weld. Can weld. Okay. Which we shall now do. And 2 more ingots. Which again we will try to cool very carefully. And pop them out of the mold. And weld. So now we have our 7 ingots, or 7 double ingots. And the ones that are still hot will cool. And Anvil. And I can't walk. I need to put that down. And put this on my back. And Anvil. So, there we are, our first smithy. We're going to be expanding it, and I'll be working on upgrading that anvil. And until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.